So could you kindly introduce yourself for those who don't know you?
Yeah, so Jessica Lieberman. I'm an associate professor in the Humanities Computing and Design program in the College of Liberal Arts at RIT.
So for people outside the loop of developments in Rochester, could you explain briefly on what ROC the Riverway is in summary and its overarching goal?
Sure. So ROC the Riverway started out as 13 linked projects that were all about connecting the pathways along the Genesee River from the lake all the way down, ideally, to Pennsylvania. And the 13 projects were proposed by the city of Rochester for funding. And I'm involved only with one of them, which is the focal project, which is the aqueduct reimagined.
Could you elaborate specifically on your project, the aqueduct project?
Yeah, so ours is the biggest one, and it has a crazy history. So the aqueduct, which is technically the second aqueduct in Rochester, is this profound architectural marvel to conduct the Erie Canal over the Genesee River, and has tremendous historic resonance for Rochester in multiple ways, primarily transportation, access, and connectivity. Even after the Erie Canal was rerouted and so no longer used the aqueduct and went south of the city, it then became a passageway that we built the subway in. And we're the smallest city in the United States to build, run, operate, and then abandon a subway line. So around the 80s, when the graffiti communities start to rise, it actually turned into a training ground for artists writing on walls to develop and hone their skills, and has become very well-loved, massive underground art gallery that many people in Rochester consider a very special part of us as an arts city. I tend to come from the point of view of seeing the graffiti writers as the people who have continued to celebrate and own and protect and care for this space, and that is not usually the most popular point of view.
What are some aspects in Rochester's urban community that these developments could potentially improve?
So that's a mixed bag too. What it definitely would improve would be more people, more communities would probably feel invited, included, safe, and able to access these spaces. So that is a benefit. I also do love just that this project has brought a lot of voices out to the table to converse. There are certainly just as many people who I don't represent them, but who I make sure have, a voice at the table, who would say that any change to this space, that it's already perfect and already what's wanted, and any change is bad. But I think you have just as many people who say, let's obliterate this entire structure off the face of the planet.
Just to wrap things up here, what's probably the most important part to you personally, in terms of your vision with what you've been working with?
So, I definitely have my own vision and thoughts and beliefs. I've been very careful to set those aside. I personally am, writing a book about the Rochester style of graffiti. I believe that Rochester actually has an important role to play in this incredibly the largest American intervention in the art world, in being graffiti. I think Rochester and our role in the graphic and topographic worlds absolutely critical to this conversation. So I certainly want to make sure that the graffiti art, urban art, street art stays prioritized. I don't want to lose the trains, the subway, the transportation people. I think that's absolutely key. So I definitely, my vision would be having all kinds of people from all walks of life feel comfortable and safe engaging this space, but engaging it for what it is, not for some new thing that isn't about its long history and what it's become.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome,
time.
love. Here you go.